All right, everyone, let's get started with our week 6 power rankings. I apologize for missing last week. I was traveling and I was also watching the Orioles lose in the ALCS. So we're back this week and we'll go over the current power rankings and take a look at the matchups going forth for week 7 and the rest of the year. So let's get things started. So in week 6, we had some typical wins like AWOL's boys. We had some non-typical wins like Sigma O 05, who has now beaten myself and the top turds in back-to-back weeks to go 500, which might be the first time since Sigma O 05 has joined the league that he has had a 500 record, which, granted, his point total is abusively low, but he was able to come up with 2 wins in weeks where 2 teams put up very low scores. And a win is a win, as we all know, and he's sitting at 3-3. And he's going to try to make some moves, it looks like, to possibly somehow make the playoffs. If that happens, then I can't. I don't even know what that. Yeah, if he makes the playoffs, then that's very impressive. So we'll get started with our power rankings, and as you would expect, our number one, currently 5-1, is A-Will's boys. He continues to roll. Ironically, his only loss was to Sigma. He right now looks like a very tough opponent and looks to be headed back to the playoffs for the third straight year. There are a few teams that are going to try to catch him, but it's going to be tough. Our number 2 right now in the power rankings is Giant Bag of Dicks. He has recently made a few moves to upgrade his team, getting Andrew Luck, among others. He's picked up LaShawn McCoy, and he's going to hope for him to hop back to normal form for the second half of the year. But for right now, he's doing a very good job leading the division. It's going to be a tough fight for that division for the rest of the year, but right now he's got a good hold on it and a pretty good team. At number 3, Brolo El Cunado. He is now 4-2. He's sitting behind A-Will's boys, so it is going to be a bit difficult for him to catch up. But he is in a nice position right now, has a solid point total. He has had a very consistent year, probably one of the most consistent outside of AWOL's boys. Very well-rounded team. I wouldn't say there's any superstars, but also really no sacrifices at many positions. At number 4, a player who was at 12 in the power rankings for the first few weeks, and that's Pack Daddy. He has picked it up. He is getting some good performances out of his wide receiving core, which has helped him. He's had 2 huge weeks, I think, so far this year, which have really helped out his point total. But right now he's leading the division at 3-3. It's a rough division. I think, honestly, any of those teams have a shot if they go on a run. A few trades or waiver wire pickups that can just get some wins. Anything can happen in that division if a team gets on a run. At number 5, Breeze on Ball. Again, fairly consistent throughout the year. Good point total. He has a very well-rounded team. She, I should say. They are contenders for the division, like I think everyone in that division is. And they are going to look for Drew Brees to get back to his old form to really try to secure that number 1 spot. Because if he does, I think they might have a better shot. At number 6, the next team in our division is the Trash Dash. Now, while they might have a better record, their point total is really not where you would like it in that division. All the other 3 teams in that division have much, much higher point totals. And so he's going to have to probably pick it up right now in terms of points, or hope that he is going to get that division through wins. Because when it comes to the tiebreaker, it's looking like he's going to be out of luck. At number 7, Fildo Industries, who this past week put up a very, very strong showing. It was necessary, and he is now going to look to continue to get that wide receiver production, because right now his running backs are very, very, very mediocre at best. I'm not sure if he's just going to hope to continue to get, one running back have a touchdown and have his wide receivers do the rest, but we'll see. He did have a big win this past week. At number 8, Felcher and Sons, currently sitting at 2-4, very strong point total, has a ridiculously high points against right now. Just happened to run into a few buzzsaws so far this year. Things are going to have to turn around. There's no excuses. Making trades right now to try to see if there's something that can change the fortune going forward, and hopefully have a fight in that division going forward. At number 9, former champion Jay Gordon Rehab Chamber. He is stumbling a little bit after his humongous point total loss against Felcher and Sons a few weeks ago. Still, like I said, has a shot in that division because nobody looks like they're going to run away with it. He has Jimmy Graham coming back, hopefully, which he's going to need because he and Le'Veon Bell are the two stars that carry that squad and are hopefully going to get him some wins. At number 10, the Magic Man himself, Sigma 05. It's hard for me not to put him at 12 just based on his point total, but I will give him some credit regardless of what the scores were. He is 3-3. He does have back-to-back wins, and wins trump all, and he is now number 10 in the power rankings for probably the first time in a couple of years. He is going to need to continue to win because his point total is not going to get him any tiebreakers, and that's going to be very tough for him. At number 11, a team that I'm just a little bit of confused what the direction is for his team, and that's Check Yourself. He doesn't seem to have an idea of where he's going to go because he has Adrian Peterson, still, stored on his bench, which, granted, I know he's probably a guy who you would potentially keep. But with the uncertainty surrounding him and everything else that's going on, I don't know if there's something else that he has in mind, but his running backs right now are struggling, and there aren't really any moves that have been made or any moves that look like they're trying to make in the trades. I know he loves his wide receivers because they are performing pretty well, but he's going to need to find another way if he's going to get back into this. And last, probably the most active person trying to find a way to claw his way back into the playoffs, and he's in the right division for it, is Top Turds. Now, he may only have one win, but he is doing everything he can to try to build his team back up. His team right now is a shell of its former self when it started the year. But if there's anything that I know, it's that I counted that team out last year when he started 1-3 or 1-4 last year, and then he turned around and just ran through the league when he said he was going to. He's making a few claims now that he's going to come back and take over this division, and while it may be extremely tough, I'm not counting him out yet because of that division. Really, if it was either of the other divisions, I would say he doesn't have a chance. But in that division that's extremely weak. A few wins can get him right back to where he needs to be. So that wraps it up for our Week 6 power rankings. And look forward to our Week 7 games where we can start to see some more clarity in the playoff picture. Have a great weekend.
It's the kids, they riding big. The one police try to catch riding dirty. In the club before 11 o'clock, like I'm trying to catch a dime kinda early. Looking thick, her hair brown and curly. She love the way my ride shining pearly. City boys that she fine and pretty. And the country boys that she fine and purty. Yeah, my pockets big as green as curry. And the ladies know soon as they see my jewelry. If being fresh to death is a crime, I think it's time for me to see the jury.